All right, everyone, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. I really appreciate you guys stopping by. Today we're gonna do a little mini segment again where I just talk about a specific thing in fitness that I want you guys to know. And today we're gonna do my top 3 chest exercises. And little spoiler alert: none of them are the flat bench press. I'm not saying it just to be a devil's advocate so I can get more views or whatever. I really feel strongly about it. It's not really the best exercise for chest development and the growth of your chest, and we're going to talk about that. Before we dive into the big 3 best chest exercises for growth and aesthetics, I'd like to remind you guys, please like and subscribe. It would really help the channel out. And follow my TikTok at booksandbiceps24. I'll put the tag and link in the description and everything for that. And I think that's it. Yeah, once again, guys, I do these videos just because I love fitness and bodybuilding. And that's pretty much it. So if you guys can please like and subscribe, I really appreciate it. All right, so let's dive into the big 3 best chest exercises for growth and aesthetics. And the first one is the incline bench press or incline dumbbell press. Now, the incline bench press or dumbbell press does not get enough traction, and it really should, because I think these are the 2 single best exercises for actual chest growth and aesthetics. So for looking big in a shirt or any gym shirt, having a big chest that will be very wide and have a lot of width, building your upper chest will allow your chest to look visually bigger and almost seem like a plate of armor, in a sense where everybody forgets about hitting the inclined chest, and the upper chest actually gives you that fullness look of your upper chest. If you looked at Arnold Schwarzenegger in the 70s, when he did a side chest pose, he would almost be able to stand a cup on his upper chest because it was so big. And that upper chest is what makes you essentially look bigger and your upper frame look wider. So if your goal is to have just a bigger chest visually, the incline bench press and dumbbell press are a must. There's no debating it. Primarily now, why they're so good is because in an incline movement, you actually get a greater stretch on your pec. And essentially, the longer and greater stretch you have, the more time under tension you have. And subsequently, the more time under tension you have, the more hypertrophy and muscle growth will happen. So when you are doing an incline movement, you can literally feel a greater stretch on your pec as you come down. And if you have that greater stretch, you need to subsequently pair that with a greater contraction, right? So greater stretch, greater contraction equals more range of motion, and more time under tension equals bigger chest development. So you've got to really prioritize those and focus on the form. And when you come down slowly, focus on the form and push up nice. So you got to really focus on that form, really do those exercises for a nice big chest growth. So that's the first one. The second one is any machine chest movement. Or hammer strength machines as well. Every gym basically has them. And why I say this is because people often neglect the chest machines because they feel, okay, I'll either do a dumbbell or a press with a bar. And that's great and all, but why machines are so good is specifically for 2 things. One, they isolate the chest specifically. They specifically work just on your chest. And if your goal is to get a bigger chest and to work on your chest, machines are a great way to isolate the specific muscle itself and to make sure you're getting sole contraction in that muscle. And 2, they really help prevent injury and don't put any excess strain on your joints. A lot of people feel that, if I'm doing just machine stuff, I'm kind of copping out. Well, I challenge you to go to an RPE 10, push hard on machines. It's tough because it will fatigue your chest a lot because it's specifically isolating your chest. And also pair that with the fact that you're less prone to injury with these machines. It's a win-win, and you should not forget these in either sense, okay? So always do these machine chest movements. And the third one is chest flies. Now, it can be pec deck or with the cables, but these are a necessary part of any of your chest movements because, yes, the chest helps with pressing as well. That's a big part of the chest, but also you're forgetting that one of the main functions of the chest is to essentially bring your arms forward and essentially almost like a clapping motion. Your chest and your pec major, a major part of it is to bring your arms together. And often people forget the cable flies or any fly movement because they just think, oh, it's kind of an accessory thing. No, in fact, it also shapes the chest and gives you that nice crevice in between, and really shapes and builds a nice big chest and allows you to kind of remove that front delt involvement that you get with presses, right? And solely isolate your chest and build your chest as a specific muscle. So doing flies is a really important part. I'm talking about in the 12 to 15 rep range. That will allow you to build a bigger chest, specifically because you have nice time under tension. It really shapes the chest nicely and allows you to work on just specifically your chest without getting your front delt or triceps in the mix, because you can only focus on your chest. Now there's different movements with the cable flies. Of course, there's upwards cable flies. If you put like the cable down towards the floor and it come up, that works on your upper chest. You can put it like medium height, that's more on your middle chest. And if you put the cables up really high and you come down, that more on your lower chest. But I would mainly stick to either the upper cable fly, because as we talked about, the upper chest development is really important, or the middle cable fly. Also, you can try the one where you come down and work on the lower chest, but it's up to you mainly about what stretch you get. But I also like the pec deck probably the most, because the pec deck is great because it really, I find I get a great stretch on it. And when you do these fly movements, don't worry about necessarily getting the weight from point A to point B. Focus more on the time under tension and a slow contraction, and then a nice tight squeeze in the end there. Almost close your eyes and put yourself in the muscle as you're doing the exercise. These chest fly movements require a lot of mind-muscle connection, so keep that in mind, have some fun with it, see what feels good, and go from there. And now just ending this video now, I want to just say that don't worry about the decline press movements. You get enough decline movements from just doing flat presses and that kind of thing. Just, it's not necessary for aesthetics. If anything, it makes your chest seem more droopy. Don't waste time on it. Your main goal should be incline movements and flat movements as a secondary, but I'll tell you that decline movements are not going to be that great for building your chest aesthetically, and they're fairly redundant. You're basically getting that from your flat chest movements. And then that will lead into my last point here of saying that still do your flat bench movements. But if you do a flat bench press, make sure you actually focus on the contraction itself rather than just loading weight on the bar. Now, if you actually want to, what I prefer to do instead of maybe the flat chest press, is what gives me a better stretching contraction, is flat press but with dumbbells. So flat bench press, flat dumbbell press. I find gives me a better contraction because I can actually focus on any imbalances. And that's also a good thing about dumbbells, is because if you have imbalances or strength imbalances in either of your chest, do dumbbells, because you're focused your arms are on their own. They're not, reliant on other things. If you're doing a dumbbell press, you have to really make sure each of those, your pec majors contract and get the weight from point A to point B. And with dumbbells, I find I can get a better mind-muscle connection. And I would recommend, if you're going to do a flat bench press variation, I would do it with dumbbells, because that will give you a better contraction than probably the bar. Jay Cutler, 4-time Mr. Olympia, would basically only do dumbbell movements, not really a lot of barbell movements, because he found as well that the mind-muscle connection and the actual muscle growth you get with dumbbells, it's way more. It requires a lot more work, and it gives you a great amount of hypertrophy. If your goal is to grow your chest aesthetics and to actually look a certain way, then prioritize how you do the movements, not necessarily the weight you put on. All right, so that's the end of this video. I hope you guys liked it. Let me know if you guys have any other suggestions. I have a few things in the mix that I want to do next for these videos, but I really appreciate you guys taking the time to listen to me today. And all right, have a good one, guys.